The growth of AI has been fascinating. You were saying to me earlier, you've been using it.
Oh yeah, I use AI in every aspect of like even just coding, and whether it's like generating art assets with Midjourney or like ChatGPT for like finding errors in my code. Just it's completely changed the way I do.
Talk to me about errors in code. That's fascinating.
Yeah, so ChatGPT is really good at coding. Like I actually got it to build like this like space-time deformation visualization of like gravity. And it's like it knows about physics, right? It knows about code, and it can like code physics programs. So it's like. And not only that, but it can debug code. It can fix errors in your code. So you can just paste a block of code and say, find errors in this code. And like, oh, I noticed this is going to cause this error and things like that. So
wow,
it's basically having a supercharged like peer program. Oh,
wow, this is fascinating to have it right now.
Amber Alert of some kind.
It's an interesting one too. You should read that.
Oh, this is a test.
Yeah, we all got this. Fuck me. What a thing. This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. The purpose is to maintain and improve alert and warning capabilities of the federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial levels, and evaluate the nation's public alert and warning capabilities.
We don't have that in the UK or in Australia.
We have it in the UK.
Oh, has it gone to the UK?
Yeah, we have it in the UK now.
Interesting.
Yeah. But hold on. So this goes through the network, not... Because
through the cell network, right?
Yeah, because I'm from the UK. I've got and you're from the Australia, but we've all just received that.
You know where you are, though, don't they?
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's pushed through the network.
Yeah, it's like you're connected. We're connected to these cell towers. I'm sure they're sending it from there. Yeah,
that's so fucked up. I don't know if I like that or not.
No, sometimes actually I notice people they abuse it. Like even if there's just like a domestic. Like any domestic case in Canada, like sometimes they'll just spam your phone with like this person's missing, which is like it's important to but sometimes I feel like maybe it wasn't necessary. I don't know.
Yeah, weird. What were we talking about? Yeah, what were we?
I think AI or something.
Yeah, I mean that debugging code is incredible. AI is so weird because I do love it and fear it at the same time, right? Yeah. So I've used it twice today. I've used it to write my program notes for my football team. So I just say, write me program notes from the chairman, include these points. And the reason I like that is I can just write something a lot quicker because it does the structure. And then I put it through Grammarly and rewrite it, and that's great. And then we were doing designs for a new podcast studio. Yeah. And normally you'd have to go to an interior designer, but we can do that ourselves. And so Midjourney and ChatGPT, very early stages, are making us more efficient and better at what we do. I fear the misuse in the future.
Yeah, I feel like what it's actually doing is augmenting our intelligence. In some sense, we're becoming all like cyborgs because, all the tools we use, like our phones and like even the early calculators, they're just tools to like make us smarter and augment. So I see the ChatGPT and AI is just like the next step in that. It's like it's a tool that we can use to like increase the acceleration of our intelligence in some sense. But yeah, the asset example is an amazing thing. Like, I used to do game development and I like building video games. And the biggest issue was just getting artists to like generate assets for your game. It's like very time consuming, very expensive. But now you can just get Midjourney to like put together like icons for your game or something. So it's making things a lot cheaper and making things more efficient. But there's a fear. Is like, where does this go? Like maybe there's like an over reliance on it, where people just rely on AI for doing all their work, and maybe it gets like, I don't know if we'll get to the point where it becomes dangerous. Like there's that whole debate. But right now, I just see it as a really useful tool.
I don't know if it was like this. I've got two things. It was like an art installation or it was a protest. But did you see at the OpenAI offices someone just covered it in paper clips?
Show me paperclip maximizer.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was going to say is, did you see recently like ChatGPT 4? I think it can now accept images, and people were like posting pictures of a whiteboard with like a design that was writing code based off the like design on a whiteboard. It's crazy.
I want to see both of these.
The craziest is the advanced data analysis mode in ChatGPT. It's like a new plugin. It's like a beta plugin. You can drop in a zip file with like PDFs and say like summarize like the Bitcoin totals in this statement, and it can like it'll build a parser for those PDFs and like tell you anything you need to know about the data in those PDFs. So it's really useful for like data analysis as well.
I got totally baited on this one. I think it's an AI generated image.
That's obviously fake.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll find the other one though.
Yeah.
We have another fun thing on the network. Actually, I wrote this OpenAI bot it's basically like an entity. We call it Dave on the network, and you can talk to it like in a Nostr thread. And it can reply to you, and it can talk to other people at the same time. So think of like when you're using ChatGPT, like you have like a thread, right? It's like a single thread. So imagine at any point people can reply, different people, and each thread can like branch off. So this is like, so Dave on the network, and you can chat to it, and it's like ChatGPT. So
yeah, my daughter had I think it's Snapchat. There's like
AI assist. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it though.
It's creepy though. It's like there's something like that's this idea of like this bot giving advice to like your kids. It's disturbing.
All right, Danny is showing us ChatGPT now can code from a whiteboard drawing. What's this? You're an expert software developer. This was my team's whiteboarding session for our onboard flow.
It can understand the image?
Yeah.
Oh, it's written all the HTML and CSS.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's a little bit insane.
I think I saw another one where they took a Figma file and they generated like a website from the Figma or something.
I don't even know what a Figma file is.
It's like a designer tool.
Got you.
That's a big thing. It's like designers will make a design and you're like, oh shit, now I have to actually code up a website and actually do all the CSS and stuff. Huh. But now I think AI will probably just do that automatically.
So I'm getting my daughter to use AI. So it's been banned. They've been told they can't use it for school, and I'm like, fuck that, use it.
That's dumb.
like just do not listen to that. So she was having she had to do some work all about the Industrial Revolution, what caused it, and she had to pick one of the 20 reasons and write about it. But capitalism was missing there. I said, no, the main driver of the Industrial Revolution was capitalism. So I told her about it, and she came down and she did work. She just literally copied off the internet what capitalism is. So I was like, darling, this is really obviously copied off the internet. So I was like, watch this.
Get better at cheating.
Let's do it here. Let's do it here. So I'll show you what actually happened. Get ChatGPT up, and then get a definition of capitalism. And so, right, okay. So that was kind of like listening to what got, and I was like, it's so obviously written. So copy and paste that into, and yeah, right.
You know, you don't need to do that. It knows what it said to you.
Oh, right. So then just put rewrite like a teenager has written it. But this didn't actually work. Because it was like, look, capitalism is like this economic thing where people own stuff. No. So that doesn't work. So again, but put rewrite for homework so that the teacher does not know it was copied off the internet. So this is what we went through. All right, here we go. So it just rewrote it in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think we went through a process of saying, like, make it sound like somebody younger wrote it. So, So
it's going to get pretty hard for, if I had this tool when I was a kid at school, I'd be like, oh my God, I'd be passing all my classes. It's insane.
But this is what I said to her. I was like, I'm going to justify why you can ignore the teachers here. Okay. The reason you can ignore the teachers is I'm using this for work. It's given me a competitive advantage. I said, when you leave school in 5 years, this stuff's going to be insane. If you leave school knowing how to use this stuff to do much better work, you're more employable. You, to me, are more employable. So ignore the teachers. And if you get in trouble, tell me and I'll talk to them.
I think the teachers are going to need to just embrace it and just find creative ways to incorporate it into learning instead of just treating it as like a problem.
So that one detected it.
Yeah.
So how does it detect something?
I would imagine what you would just do is... how would it do it?
Hold on, go back and ask it to write it so it can't be detected by AI.
Okay, there are other tools that you can like paste it into and say, write this so it's not detected.
Yeah, so write this so it cannot be detected by AI.
How would it?
Right.
Let's see if it passes.
No, you don't want that first bit.
Yeah.
You basically have to make it sound dumber or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's super interesting, and we're more productive. You're more productive. Yeah. We can do more. But I have that thing in the back of my mind is like a lot of jobs being wiped out very quickly.
Yeah.
There's the interesting thing. Have you seen the Spotify thing?
Which one?
Spotify and AI.
No.
Holy shit! You got to bring this up. This is the coolest AI thing I've seen. And so this is a tool that we're going to use. If you're probably better looking for it on Twitter, Danny, because you'll find the video.
Okay.
So if you go to, it's still fucking Twitter. I wonder if it's still calling Twitter in like a decade.
I'm calling it Twitter until I die. I don't care.
This one?
Yeah.
Diary CEO.
Yeah, so if you bring that up, watch this. You need the...
Oh, that's pretty important.
When you say the word toxicity, how are you defining that? You're saying like toxic chemicals? que introducimos en nuestras vidas, en nuestra piel, consumimos, inhalamos, tenemos a nuestro alrededor y que están en nuestros alimentos, etc.
How do you think? O sea, a modo de consejo, ya que lo estamos platicando.
That is crazy.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
That is crazy. And it's like sounds like his voice too.
Yeah, and the mouse moves. So, yeah, no, they do it in your voice.
Yeah.
And so as soon as this is publicly available, suddenly our show, which is available to everyone, English, is available every language in the world to everyone. And that's really interesting because we've had so many times people have written to us and said, can you do it with Spanish subtitles?
Yeah.
We just haven't got around to it. But now just upload, up it goes. It's in every language in the world.
And Spanish is one of those things. It's like, you know, there's so many speakers. And I think I remember watching a clip from like Mr. Beast. He said like he just made a channel for like
I saw
Spanish.
that. I think he said it on the Rogan podcast that he was on.
Yeah, yeah. And then he just like the amount of views he just got from that alone has just made so much sense.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, so now you can do it automatically, that's like insane.
Amazing.
Yeah. So like, I really like it. I do fear this mass wipeout of jobs in certain things. Like, I don't know what the impact of translation is. All the people who used to do translations now don't have a job. And, you know, all the people who used to do artwork now don't have a job. So I do worry about that. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But there is a bigger fear with AI. Danny was talking about this to me earlier. And I wonder if this is something Nostr will solve. So people have actually, let's talk about multiple scenarios. Someone can use AI to phone up my kids, pretend it's me, augment my voice, and say to them, "Wow, are you at home or whatever?" Or phone up, Danny's wife and say, "Can you, whatever? I need my private keys. Can you send them across?"
Right.
Or even when they can do it on video, because we know it's coming. If you've got a multi-sig solution with an Unchained or a Casa, if you lose a key, you have to go through an online. They check it's you. Well, how will they know it's you?
You're more vulnerable to this than almost anyone as well.
Yeah.
It's like 700 episodes, 2 hours long of your voice
and
face.
face. So you can create that. But then also, what if you want to cancel someone? What if someone makes a video of me doing some weird shit and puts up on the internet? So there's all these risks with AI. And I'm wondering whether we're going to end up having using public-private keys to validate. Can
everything.
Can it go into a phone so it confirms that is you talking?
No, yeah. So I think cryptography there's so many things we could be doing with cryptography that we're not even doing. Imagine if there was like think of like a hardware device that had a screen on it, and I could actually verify that the signal that you're seeing is coming from your public key. So I imagine like every frame is signed by your. So you have some hardware device or something that's like creating the recording on your camera. And then, so you'd have end-to-end valid verification that that signal is actually from you. I think we're probably going to start seeing technology like that pretty soon because we're going to need it because that is a very scary scenario. What you're describing is cryptography is probably the only way to deal with it.
Yeah, I think you're going to need a lot of things. I think a career risk. Were you someplace doing something you were accused of? Did that video that includes you? Was it you? Can someone be you? I almost feel like you need almost like some kind of technology, which is your alibi. That's like tracking where you are to prove where you are at certain points, if required.
Right.
I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But it does. It's not just me. Fuck me. I'm like a nobody with a nerd podcast. There are famous people everywhere who are going to be in positions where they've got career risk. Politicians, well, fuck them. But politicians, musicians, actors, anyone.
It's going to create a world where basically you can't really trust anything you see or hear if it gets really good. So then you're going to need some level of verification from anything you see and it's got to be signed by their key. Otherwise, it's just like you can't trust anything.
Do you think Nostr will be something that could happen with?
Well, that's in some sense, you have verification on your client that the messages you see are from that person because every node is signed using their key. So as long as you're following them and you verify that you're actually following that public key, it can get tricky where if you haven't verified their key out of bound or something, then someone could be pretending to be you, but it might not be their key. So that key technology is very important for end-to-end to verifying messages.
And they've banned it in the UK.
Yep.
They banned what?
End-to-end encryption, effectively. They've passed an online safety bill, and
it's just ridiculous.
Well, they've said that any Signal app that operates in the App Store has to have a backdoor, or it's going to be banned.
Well, that's interesting.
So Signal have said they're going to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Damas as well, because we have end-to-end encrypted DMs. So
I've got a question about DMs. We'll come back to that because I think this is an interesting point. But if you can't ban end-to-end encryption. Like you can use it on your computer, they're never going to get rid of that, but they
Right.
can make it really hard to use on your phone. And like if Signal have specifically said, the CEO, I can't remember her name, so specifically said if they actually start enforcing this, we're just out, which is a huge loss to the UK.
Yeah. That's what you're going to see is it's just not enforceable. Unless people you just have to leave because there's no way, like you're not going to backdoor your encryption. Right?
Yeah.